Information shared on the following program is for general information purposes only. It does not constitute legal, tax, investment, or other advice, nor is it intended to recommend any particular investments, products, or financial instruments. Always seek advice from your financial advisor, attorney, or accountant with regard to investment, legal, or tax questions.
I can get you the wagon. There's no problem there. The problem is it might take 6 weeks. Now, I owe it to myself to tell you, Mr. Griswold, that if you're thinking of taking the tribe cross-country, this is the automobile you should be using, the Wagon Queen family truckster. You think you hate it now, but wait till you drive it.
I don't want to drive it. I just want my old car back, okay?
Everybody's a salesman. Question is what you're being sold really what you need?
Welcome to the only show in the country dedicated to helping savers worry less about money, the Worry-Free Retirement, with your host, Tony Walker.
If you got it, you don't need it. If you need it, you don't got it. You don't get it, shame on you. Funny, funny, funny what money can do. Them that have it, get more of it. The less they need it, the more they love it. And it sticks to them like glue. Funny, funny, funny what money can do.
It was the late, great motivational speaker and sales trainer, Zig Ziglar, who once said the following: nothing happens till somebody sells something. You know, after working in the field of finance for more than 35 years, I couldn't agree more. You see, sales, by definition, is simply the process one goes by or through to convince someone else to buy or believe what it is they believe or what they're selling. And yes, Mr. Ziglar correctly stated, and I agree with this, that nothing happens in this old world till somebody sells something. Now, to his point, I would argue that sales, which is considered one of the oldest and greatest professions of them all, could affect anybody. We're all salesmen when you think about it. I'm a financial advisor. I'm a retirement specialist, but I'm still, even this show, we're trying to sell you on our services. An attorney, they sell legal documents. An accountant, they sell accounting packages in preparation. A coach, he's selling someone on the idea that he's a good coach. A counselor, my oldest son is actually my brother's a drug and alcohol counselor, but he tries to sell people on the idea of things they can do to improve their health. A politician, talk show host, even a preacher standing behind the pulpit may not be selling goods necessarily, but they're trying to sell ideas. So I agree with Zig Ziglar that nothing happens until somebody sells something. Well, welcome, folks, to the Worry-Free Retirement, and I am your host, that little man in the sweater vest, retirement planning specialist and fiduciary Tony Walker. And as always in the studios here in Louisville, Kentucky, is my favorite financial sidekick. Along with his sidekick, we've got Mr. Aaron Orander and Megan Murphy in the studio. How you doing, Aaron?
Good morning, sir. I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Good, good. And, you know, in preparation for the show yesterday, we talked about this. Today's show is really to make sure everybody understands, first of all, that there is nothing wrong with sales. The problem is we are human, and if the salesman or saleswoman does not have the best interest of you at heart, there's two things that are going to happen, Aaron, if somebody tries to sell you something. Number one, they're going to sell you something you don't need. Or number two, probably worse yet, you might need or want the product or service they're offering, but they sell it to you and don't stand behind the product. Okay, so in your young adult life, has this ever happened? Do you feel like either one, you were sold something, or you bought something with the promise that they would be there and they were not?
I remember, I remember being sold something that I didn't really need. So when we were on our honeymoon, long story made short, our camera stopped working. So we had to go buy disposable cameras there at the resort we were staying at. Well, they had, you know, the $7, $8 regular disposable cameras, which even then I thought was a little steep, but, you know, we were out of the country, so whatever. But the person at the store convinced us we had to buy the underwater disposable cameras, and those were like $27. Those were not cheap because, you're going to be out on the boats and you'll be taking, you know, scuba pictures and everything else. I think maybe we took 3 pictures underwater. Maybe. So we bought 2 of them. So over $50 in disposable cameras, and we took maybe 3 underwater pictures.
You know, it's funny you mention that. I remember those cameras and those things. Yeah, that's back in the throwaway days before iPhones had cameras attached. But yeah, so it's not a good feeling to be sold something or feel like you're being pitched something. My moment, I've had several in my lifetime, my moment came, and again, there's nothing wrong with fancy gutter guards, folks. We're not going to get on the gutter guard industry, but my wife and I had been to a home improvement show kind of thing in Bowling Green. We're walking around and we see this gentleman, nice fella, selling these gutter guards. And he said, well, would you like me to come to your home and show you how they work? I said, well, absolutely, that'd be fine. Nice guy, signed my name, phone, he calls, comes by. Well, this isn't the same guy that comes by. He sends a salesman by. And this guy, Aaron, I kid you not, came in, sat down at the kitchen table, priced the gutters out, which is fine. They were like $7,000 or something. I said, well, sir, to be honest, man, I didn't realize they were this high. Let me think about it. And I never forget, he looked me in the eye and he goes, what's there to think about? And I said, well, think about the price. And he would not leave the house. Aaron, I thought I might have to throw the guy and his gutter guards out. So the point was, rather than letting me make an informed buying decision and really think through the options, he wasn't going to do that. He was trying to sell me. Yeah, he put a whole lot of pressure. So folks, this is a retirement planning show, and what we're going to talk about is maybe you're feeling like that. Maybe you're feeling like a lost ball in high weeds. Maybe you're wondering why you're getting out of the blue all of these dinner seminar invitations, why you on your computer you're getting all these pop-up ads, people trying to sell you stuff, retirement planning services, annuities, money management services. It goes on and on and on. So what we're going to do today is just take time to explain what we at Tony Walker Financial actually do. And if we're going to assume that, like Zig Ziglar, nothing happens in this world till somebody sells something, let's put a positive slice here on the sales. Remember, sales in my book is just helping other people get what they want, and in return, I'm able to get paid fairly for my services. I don't think you wouldn't argue with that, would you, Aaron? No. I mean, you would buy stuff from it. So there's really nothing wrong with sales. The problem is we've either been burned or we don't trust other people, and that's why we hate this term sales. So when we come back, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the worry-free retirement process, what Tony Walker Financial does, how we are so different as a retirement planning specialist from a money manager or a wealth manager. You have to understand this difference, folks. So if you're serious about planning for retirement, if you've recently retired or retiring soon, stay tuned. You're going to want to hear what we're selling.
Tired of the roller coaster ride of the stock market? Let Tony Walker show you how to smooth out the ride with your money. Log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com and let's get started.
Have you recently retired, been laid off, or offered a buyout? Has the company you work for recently moved or been acquired or closed its doors forever? Then take advantage of this opportunity to move your 401k to safer territory. Why continue to risk your hard-earned money when you don't have to? Let's meet in person today to discuss your retirement options. Log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com to schedule your no-obligation appointment to meet with me in person. Do it today.
Welcome back to the Worry-Free Retirement. We are going to spend the rest of our time today explaining the difference between what a retirement planning specialist does, or what we are selling, versus what the rest of the financial world is pitching. So folks, first of all, let's think about this. We are talking here about retirement planning. This show is dedicated to savers. We don't work with investors and speculators. So if you're that person out there that's more concerned about the return of their money than on it, if you're already retired or approaching retirement, we must understand what it is we do. What is it we're selling? And if I had to boil this down, Aaron, really what we're selling is sleep insurance. What we're selling is that opportunity for people to go to bed at night, not have to worry about what the stock market's doing, not have to worry about accounts nosediving, not have to worry about running out of money, and be able to wake up each morning and relax and enjoy the money that they have. We want to use and enjoy and protect our money without running out of it. That's really what we're selling. Well, how do we do that? Well, let's kind of go through a little bit about how I got started in this business, which was in 1984. Left my family business in 89, went out on my own and been working and gradually building up a fairly large organization, which now we have 10 full-time employees beside myself at Tony Walker Financial, and then the separate corporation would be Aaron and Megan with Worry Free Production in the studio here, where we create all the information we're sharing with you. So what I decided over the years was to create a process, that's what's called the Worry Free Retirement, and in that process I have a lot of staff. So here's the first thing we're going to do. If you purchase any products from us, there's 2 types of products we'll sell, and we'll get into that in a minute. You have my commitment that we're going to, first of all, sell you what you want and what you need. That's the job of a fiduciary, all right? My job, I'm obligated by law to put your interest ahead of my own. I don't work for any companies. I work with companies. So we put your money with companies, but I'm the owner of Tony Walker Financial. I get to call the shots. I get to set the fees. I get to set the service parameters. I make sure personally that you are taken care of. We don't have some big institution telling us what to do. So that's the first thing we do. The second thing we do is we make sure that when we sell a product or when you invest money with us, that we have plenty of staff to provide the servicing you need. See, the problem is, folks, what's happening, there are 10,000, I know we've gone over this, but this is bearing repeating. Aaron, what's this number represent, 10,000? You've heard me say it.
10,000, that's the number of people turning 65 every day.
There you go. Hey, see, Aaron?
I pay attention.
Good job. So think about this, folks. You're wondering why, out of the blue, you're 55 or 60 years of age, you're getting 3 to 5 dinner seminar invitations every week. Megan, does your mom get those? Didn't you say she's getting them?
She gets a bunch of them.
A bunch of them.
She gets a bunch of them.
She's in that age range. So you're sitting there saying, well, how come I'm getting all these things? I never got them when I was 30 years of age. Well, the reason complete strangers are willing to spend $50 on dinner for you is because they know you've got money. They know you're approaching retirement. You've probably got a 401k. And folks, there is a lot of money in our business to be made on people retiring with 401ks. That's what we do. We don't make any bones about it. That's what we do. The problem is many of you are rushing out. You're moving your money over. You have no clue what these people are actually going to be doing with it. They invite you, maybe, and we'll use that example. They invite you to a dinner seminar. Or they talk you into letting them come over to your house like the gutter guard guy. They pitch you a product. Maybe they scare the daylights out of you. And then they sell you something and you, quote, become a client with no reassurance of what's going to happen after that sale. None. In fact, many of you come to me after you've been with these folks for several years. Not all the times this happens. I mean, there's a lot of great advisors out there, but most advisors do not understand retirement planning. I know this because you come to me and you say, Tony, I've got this annuity, or I've got this money invested in the stock market. How do I know how much I can spend? How do I know what the taxes are going to be? How do I know how long it's going to last? It's all these how-to questions, and I'm like, wait a minute, whoa. Did you not work with an advisor? Well, yeah. Well, what did the advisor tell you? They told me they were retirement planning or whatever. And I'll say, really? I always ask this question, Aaron. Let me see the written game plan that this supposed retirement specialist gave you. And guess what they all say?
Well, he didn't give me a game plan.
They don't have a game plan.
She didn't give me a game plan.
Yeah, so folks, the proof is in the pudding. If you don't have, first of all, a written game plan, and here's what this game plan should spell out, and we'll provide you with this if you'd like to meet. A written game plan should spell out how much money you have, what types of accounts you have. It should assume very, very low interest assumptions. You should assume also when the Social Security is going to be taken. And then finally, that game plan should easily show you how that money is going to be pulled out and used and enjoyed for the rest of your life. I mean, that's really what retirement planning is. Retirement planning is not that complicated. What happens is you work all your life, you're 55, 60, 65, and at some magical age you choose, nobody else needs to choose this for you, but you decide to retire or cut back on work. Then what has to happen is all this money you've saved has to last for the rest of your life. Does this sound more complicated, Aaron?
No.
In theory, it's not.
No, not really, yeah.
Now, how you implement that and the amount of expertise to implement that to get it right is complicated.
Right.
It's not easy. So a lot of people make it sound easy. It's really easy to convince you to roll over the 401k. I mean, I could train Aaron to do that in 30 minutes. We could roll over your 401k and slap it in some kind of investment. The question is, now what? So just because you've rolled over your 401k doesn't mean you have a retirement specialist, doesn't mean you have a retirement game plan. The proof's in the pudding. Now, let's talk about our services too, because a retirement planning specialist, And if you don't mind, Megan, just for my cheat notes, if you can put that up on the screen behind me. I know we're on the Magic of Radio, but that'll help me. Thank you. What we do is basically more than just the 401k rollover. So, for instance, obviously we can roll over your 401k, 403b, pension, thrift savings account. We do hundreds of those a year. That's not a problem. The services we offer that we charge nothing for, now these are free services. We help facilitate your estate planning to make sure your proper legal documents are in place. We help facilitate your Social Security election. I have on staff a person that's certified in Social Security planning. We help facilitate any tax and fee analysis. So if you want to see what your current broker or 401k is charging in fees, we can figure that out for you, see how much fees we can save you. We also facilitate your tax planning. When are you going to take minimum distributions? Should you take them at 70.5 like the government says, or take them early? How do your distributions from your 401k affect your other taxable income, et cetera, et cetera? We do all that for free. And then finally, we provide the written retirement planning game plan absolutely free, and we will monitor and update that for you once you're a client, absolutely free. You've probably heard this number, Aaron. Did you hear how many written game plans we have done in our office since 9/11 when I really started focus on retirement planning? Written game plans.
Written game plans?
Somewhere between 500 and 10,000. What would you say?
I'd say about 3,000.
3,000. Good guess. Just over 4,000.
Okay.
So, folks, we know retirement planning, and you've got to ask yourself, all right, it'd be like getting heart surgery. You're going to let the guy that just got out of medical school that's done one, or are you going to meet with somebody that's done it 30 years and done 4,000? So this is second nature to us. We understand the retirement planning process. So how do we get paid then? Well, we get paid in one of two ways. We either earn commissions paid by the insurance companies for the following products. Here's all the products we offer. So listen carefully. This is how we get paid. We work with fixed annuities, fixed indexed annuities, and immediate annuities. We do not do variable annuities based on the high fees and risk. Okay. That's products we sell for a commission. That goes inside the retirement plan. We also sell for a commission life insurance, long-term care insurance, and if you're 65 or older, Medicare supplements. We also sell for a commission final expense policies so that we can show you how to make sure your funeral costs are taken care of and excluded from the Medicaid rules, Medicaid compliant trusts for the life insurance. So those are the only products we sell for a commission. Now, how do we charge fees for anything? Yes, we do. We have a unique platform as an independent fiduciary with Charles Schwab. Now, Charles Schwab is the custodian. They hold the money, but we in our office at Tony Walker Financial watch over everything for you. We make all the investment decisions. We can send you money anytime you need it. So you call us. You don't have to call Schwab, and we get to set our own fees. And I think this is the best part, Aaron. You hear me go on and on about fees. And was it last week we talked about John Bogle, founder of Vanguard?
Yeah, the show before that, yeah.
I learned a lot from reading his material and studying macroeconomics. But basically, the average money manager out there who really is not offering these services, most money managers really are just going to handle your money. You're not going to have the founder of the company meet with you in person like I do. You're not going to have dedicated Social Security experts and tax people to help you with things. That's not what they're going to do. And not only they're not going to do that, they're going to charge you, on average, Aaron, it's 1.5% to 2% a year just to watch over your funds. And these funds, folks, in most cases are not guaranteed. So you have to ask yourself, all right, you're getting into retirement, you have no clue what you're doing, you have no understanding of taxes, Social Security, you got to find somebody that can help you there. You got to make sure these people aren't charging you out the you-know-what for all these services, which we don't for those kind of services. Then you got to invest the money. You got to make sure you have the right financial products. You should ask what the commissions are. We're happy to disclose the commissions on all the products that the companies pay us. And my goodness, you should know the fees, which again, we charge a whopping 0.6% on our Schwab platform compared to most people charging 1.5% to 2%. That's a huge savings. So what we're going to do, when we come back, we're going to share our philosophy of the three halves of life. We're going to ask this question repeatedly: why are you saving all this money if you have no plans on spending it? It's a different philosophy from Wall Street. And the key, what we're going to share with you, the key with all of this in the end is feeling like you're in control. So if you're a control freak or would like to be a control freak, this is some good news coming up. I'm Tony Walker. You're listening to The Worry-Free Retirement.
Are you retired or retiring soon? Can you afford for your money to take a hit with the stock market being so volatile these days? Nobody can time the market, but having a retirement game plan with Tony Walker Financial gives you peace of mind and sleep insurance. Learn how to prevent losses in your retirement accounts and plan your retirement around an income you can never outlive. Log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com today to schedule a personal meeting with Tony to secure your hard-earned money. That's TonyWalkerFinancial.com.
Have you recently retired, been laid off, or offered a buyout? Has a company you work for recently moved or been acquired or closed its doors forever? Then take advantage of this opportunity to move your 401k to safer territory. Why continue to risk your hard-earned money when you don't have to? Let's meet in person today to discuss your retirement options. Log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com to schedule your no-obligation appointment to meet with me in person. Do it today.
Welcome back to the Worry-Free Retirement. Before we get into the last segment of our show regarding our philosophy of the three halves of life, why our job is to help you use and enjoy your money versus just leaving it hogtied with the financial world and never seeing any of it. But first I want to share with you really some exciting news. We are, speaking of sales, we are big on educating our clients. And we provide what we call educational opportunities, and we have a ton of it. I spend anywhere from 10 to 15 hours a week literally writing script for the show. We have a webinar as we speak. The show is being recorded on August 13th, 2019. Obviously, by the time you listen to this show, it's going to pass, but we have live webinars every other week. We still host workshops. I'm willing to meet in person with people. But on our new website, you got to check it out. Go to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. All the downloads are there. The blog posts, which are excellent, are on there. And then you can also, if you want to watch past episodes of the TV show, The Worry-Free Retirement, a lot of people like that. Not only do we have podcasts of the radio show, but this is really cool. You can go to YouTube and then just type in Tony Walker Financial under YouTube, and you'll be able to watch past episodes of the 30-minute television show, The Worry-Free Retirement. And obviously there's a lot more graphics on there, a lot more detail. But so the whole point is, folks, we are, yes, in the sales business. We sell sleep insurance. We have to work and make a living and sell products and handle money. We're no different from that standpoint than anybody else. The difference is the philosophy is we feel we understand retirement planning very well, and we feel that we work in the best interest of our clients, or otherwise I wouldn't do this. So how do we do this? Why is our philosophy so different than the rest of the financial world? Well, years ago, as I watched all these people retire, I noticed something very interesting. And I watch my grandparents the same way, but I've watched my clients play out. We have close to 2,200 clients, and I've been doing this a long time, so I've got to watch people age, so to speak, and what I call the second half of life. And as I watched these people, they started spending less and less. Aaron, was it your grandmother that passed recently?
Last November.
But did you notice that as she got a little older, she didn't spend as much?
Oh, no.
Did not spend as much,
She did not spend as much, yeah.
Yeah,
no.
I mean, well, I'm not going to give her age away, but what 82-year-old? She's probably not flying all over the world. She's been there, done that. I like to say been there, done that. So what the financial world has duped you into thinking is you're going to need more and more money as you get older. So what happens is you're afraid to spend it. And in the meantime, they're charging all these whopping fees and making money on your money whether you do or not. So our philosophy is different. It's born out of actual experience. I know the mind of a saver. I know how short life can be. I mean, I lost my father at a young age, and I realized that there's this fine balance between protecting your money for the future, which we will do that for you, but also helping you use and enjoy the money now, which is a very satisfying and gratifying mission. So how do we do that? Well, we do that with something very unique to the industry. It's called the Worry-Free Split IRA. And we've talked about this before, but this is worth noting. Yesterday in the office on Monday, Aaron, you saw I had a pretty busy day. And you know how many
slammed.
You know how many appointments I ended up having yesterday? And remember, they average anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes each.
I'll say 16.
16? No, that's close. 19.
19, okay. So
Yeah,
more. Wow.
Lisa from our Bowling Green office works on a lot of the income plans. And we were talking the other day. I said, Lisa, you got to come up one day and just watch me go through all the different planning sessions, because some people are clients that I'm meeting with. Some people are prospective clients. Some people are in for their second or third appointment. So she said, yeah, I'll come up. So she sat there. About 6:30, she came early in the morning. I started at 10:30. She got here at 10:30. By 6:30, she said, I wasn't even done yet.
She was tired watching.
Yeah, she said, I got to get back to Bowling Green. So I just thought that was funny. I said, no, fine, that's fine, Lisa. So she left. I still had an hour and a half worth of appointments. In fact, sometimes, we talk about recording the show or schedule on Tuesday. My voice sounds a little gravelly, folks. That's because, I met with 19 people. And you said, well, Tony, how come you're working that hard? Well, because we have a lot of people that need and want our services, and we're really good at it. You've done it this long. People tend to seek you out, and we appreciate that. Maybe that's you right now. You're sitting there going, well, I don't really understand what to do with my 401k. I recently rolled it over, or, I feel like every time I go to one of these dinner seminars, I'm just being pitched something, and nobody's willing to really sit down with me. Nobody's really willing to provide the staff and the number of staff. Right now we have 10 full-time employees. Again, let me reiterate that, and 2 advisors, myself and Heather Hughes. So that means our ratio of advisors and staff is 5 to 1. We have 5 people to provide service for 2 advisors, basically 5 each. That's 10 people. So you say, why do you spend that much money on all this staff? Because we want to provide the services that a retirement planning specialist is going to need. So again, folks, the service just starts after the sale. It doesn't start with the sale. That's just part of it. So what we do in the split IRA, if you're interested in looking at this, if you have a current 401k, even if you have an inheritance you've recently received, it doesn't matter. This is ingenious, because what we do is we give you the best of both worlds. We give you maximum flexibility and what we call liquidity, in other words, so you can get at your money. And that's where we use the low-cost Charles Schwab platform. Then we also use our experience in the world of fixed annuities. Now, why would we use fixed annuities? Well, there's a variety of different types we use, and that depends on the circumstances. There's all kinds of different types of annuities, but generally what we do is we want the annuities provide the protection so that we won't lose any money. And then also the annuities also provide, if we need it, mailbox money, which is defined as income you can never outlive. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is we're more than just annuities. Besides annuities, again, we do offer the Charles Schwab platform, which includes mutual funds, ETFs, stocks, bonds, all that good stuff. We also can provide 1-year CDs within the platform. That has to be within a retirement game plan. We're not out looking to offer a CD to replace your current CD. That's not what we're doing. We're trying to do a plan for you. And then, of course, we're big on short-term government bonds, which are highly conservative and very little volatility with those. So most of our clients do not want a lot of risk. Again, they're more concerned with protecting the money, and that's what we do with the split IRA concept. So if you would like to meet, if you'd like to go over any of your personal financial issues with me personally, either on the phone or in person, best of all, and by the way, we welcome WLAP Radio over in Lexington, but we're on several radio stations. We can either meet in our Bowling Green office, Louisville, Kentucky office, or of course, and our new office is there in Lexington, Kentucky. So there's absolutely no cost or obligation to meet. What I would recommend is go to the website right now at TonyWalkerFinancial.com. That's TonyWalkerFinancial.com. And as you'll also notice on the homepage, there is a space bar. What's Trey always labeled?
We call it the search bar.
Search bar, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's pretty ingenious. It's a search bar, so as you start typing, if you have questions or maybe want to download some of our free information, just type in and that search bar should help you locate the information you're looking for. So remember, folks, there's nothing wrong with sales. We are sales people. We are selling sleep insurance. We want to make sure that you enjoy your money, that you use it, and most importantly, we want to make sure that you don't run out of it. So if we can meet with you in person, help you in any way, that would be great. We would love to talk to you. Again, just log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com or give us a call at 877-499-9255. That's 877-499-WALK. Well, between now and next week, you remember, if all else fails, you be worry-free. Make it a good one.
If you got it, you don't need it. If you need it, you don't got it. You don't get it, shame on you. Funny, funny, funny what money can do.